Everyone, I'm Mindy Banks, the Flip Flop Chef. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I want to show you how to make toasted quinoa energy bites and chia seed pudding. Both of these recipes are really quick, really easy, and most important, they're very delicious. I've gone ahead and prepped all of my ingredients before I started so that you guys can see a really great way to prepare for cooking in your kitchen. So you always want to make sure that you are prepping your ingredients. That's so that you make sure that you have everything and you have the right amount. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to feature Pampered Chef's Deluxe Cooking Blender today. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. There's a button on the side. In this blender, I have 2 cups of old-fashioned oats. You could use quick cooking oats if you wanted to. This is just what I had on hand. I'm going to use the grind setting. So it'll be loud for just a few seconds because it's not going to take very long to grind up the oatmeal in here. But this is going to be basically like oat flour when we're finished, and we're just going to mix it all together with some other yummy ingredients to make our quinoa energy bites. If you're watching live or the replay, let me know in the comments below. If at any time you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you after the video is over. Like I said, I've got 2 cups of old-fashioned oats in the blender container. I'm going to take the little cap off the top of our lid, put the lid on, and I'm going to add our tamper. So this is a tool that comes with your deluxe cooking blender. So if you're using it to make like peanut butter or another nut butter, which I did before the video, and if you hang tight till the end, I'm going to show you at the very end how to make peanut butter using the deluxe cooking blender. So I'm going to just turn this to the grind setting. This has pre-programmed settings. If you've never seen the deluxe cooking blender, I'll tell you the settings that we have. So we have a smoothie setting, an alternative milk setting, which I love using to make like homemade nut milk, like almond milk or macadamia nut milk. You can make oat milk, coconut milk. There's a soup setting, a heated puree setting, a jam setting, a sauce setting, heated wash so that you don't have to clean it. You just put water and soap in there and then rinse it out when it's done. The grind setting, which we're going to use here. Just so you know, this has 2 patent pending features that no other blender on the market has, and that is the jam and the sauce setting. So I make our homemade jelly in here. So we don't buy jelly at the grocery store anymore. We just put fruit, pectin, and sugar in the blender, and it makes it all for us. It's really, really awesome. So for this, I'm just gonna grind up the oatmeal. So just a couple seconds, I'm gonna turn it on the grind setting, and I'll use the tamper if I need to push it back into the plates. How quick and easy is that? So I didn't even need to use the tamper. But I always like to have it handy just in case. So we're gonna set this aside. I've got our kids' mixing bowl here, which I like. It's lightweight, it has a really great handle. I'm gonna pour in the oats. So if you're just joining, this is just old-fashioned oats. I'm gonna add all of our other ingredients to this. Now I am gonna add one thing that the recipe doesn't call for, and that's Pampered Chef's pea protein. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a packet of this. These now are sold in pouches rather than in these little packets, and it comes with a cool little scoop so you can measure out exactly what you need. We're gonna add in 3/4 cup of nut butter. You can use peanut butter, almond butter, you can buy it at the store, or you can make it yourself. So this is a honey, cinnamon, cashew nut butter. I got these cashews at Aldi, and they're already flavored with the honey and cinnamon. So we're gonna just take our measure-all cup, scrape this off. If you guys don't know this is the very first product I ever got from Pampered Chef. Whoops, let me zoom in the right place here. I want to show you guys this. It's pretty cool. This has all of your measurements for dries and solid on one side, and then you flip it over and it has a little pouring spout and all of your measurements for your liquid on the other side. So this is pretty cool. It comes completely apart, and this is the first product I ever got from Pampered Chef. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and add in some shredded coconut. The recipe calls for sweetened coconut, which I actually prefer, but they didn't have that at the store. So I just went ahead and got the unsweetened, and we're gonna do 2/3 cup of the coconut. I'm gonna add the quinoa, and I'll tell you what I did with the quinoa before we got started here. I'll show you my skillet. So this is 3/4 cups of quinoa, and I just toasted it on the stove in this skillet. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to toast quinoa. You basically want to toast it until it's like kind of jumping and popping out of the pan, so it's really, really easy to make. Doesn't take much time, but that extra little step of toasting the quinoa gives it a little bit more flavor. We're gonna add some agave nectar. We're gonna use the smaller of the measure-all cup. I'm just gonna squeeze in the agave nectar right here. And we're gonna add that in. Again, you can just sort of press this and scrape it off. So just to recap, we have uncooked, well, we have the quinoa, which I cooked it. We have the quick cooking oatmeal that I ground up in our deluxe cooking blender. I've added coconut flakes and peanut butter, which is this time I used cashew butter. And then we're gonna add some chocolate chips because chocolate makes everything better. So I've got a half a cup of the mini chocolate morsels. This also adds just a little bit of color to the recipe. So what I'm gonna do is just mix this together really nicely. I will say that the cashew butter is thicker than the peanut butter that I usually make, and so it's not as soft and creamy. So we just wanna get this all mixed and incorporated. You could even use your hands if you wanted to. And I think that'll be easier for me. So I'm just gonna get my hands dirty, just mix this in, and then I'll rinse my hands off, and we're gonna make these into little balls. And we'll put them in the refrigerator just long enough to help them set in. And then I'm gonna show you how to make our chia seed pudding, which is delicious. It's super easy, super quick. Rinse my hand off here. And normally the nut butter that I use is a lot creamier than this, and you don't have to work as hard to mix that together. So I've got our large sheet pan here, which I love these. These are our, these are aluminized steel sheet pans, so they're never gonna bend or flex in the oven or the dishwasher. They're awesome. I've got some parchment paper on here, and I'm just gonna take our medium scoop. You could of course make these smaller or larger if you like, and I'm just gonna scoop these right onto the parchment paper. So I'm only gonna do a couple of these for now. And I think I'm gonna actually add a little bit more of the peanut butter that I'm gonna make next, just to kind of hold all this together. It's a little drier than I'd like. But you're gonna just scoop these out onto the parchment paper and put them in the refrigerator or the freezer, whoops, for just a few minutes. I'm gonna set this aside, and I wanna show you guys how to make the chia seed pudding. So if you've ever had chia seed pudding, drop a comment, let me know what you think about it. This is a new thing for me. I actually had never had chia seed pudding until recently, and I love making it now. So we're gonna use black chia seeds. You can get white chia seeds if you want this to like be undetectable. So if you're gonna be feeding this to your family, that's something to keep in mind. I got the can of coconut milk. So we're actually gonna start with that. So we're gonna use our smooth edge can opener. If you've never seen the can opener before, it's really cool. I'll zoom in so that you can see it. It is not your traditional can opener that you would kind of put on the side of the can. You actually set this on top of the can. So I like to start at the front of the can so that I always know when I've gone all the way around. And if you notice, I'm just setting it up against the side. You're gonna give it a little twist, just like that. And then you're gonna twist this all the way around the can. And once you've gone all the way around, so I started at the front of the can, so I know I've gone all the way around when I bypass that, you're gonna turn the knob counterclockwise, and it just releases the can from the can opener. And then instead of a sharp edge, you can see there's a really smooth edge here on the can and the lid of the can. All right, so we're gonna pour our coconut milk into our small batter bowl. I'm gonna add a half a cup of chia seeds. So half a cup of chia seeds. And you're gonna wanna let this refrigerate for about 4 hours, or maybe even overnight is best, because you want those chia seeds to have time to really soak up all that coconut milk. All right, so I'm gonna add in a 1/4 cup of agave nectar. So this is the same agave nectar that we used for the toasted quinoa energy bites. All right, you guys, I'm gonna post these recipes in my recipe group. So if you're not a member of that recipe group, I would love to see you over there. I'll drop a link in the comments after I finish the video, but you can find it really easily by going to theflipflopchef.com. It will redirect you to the page on Facebook that you need to be. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. Now you guys, this vanilla extract is Pampered Chef's vanilla extract. And I cannot wait because this is gonna be available again on October the 15th. If you missed out on this last year, you have to stock up. This is my very last bottle from last year when we brought this back for the holidays. You're gonna have to get one of these. So make sure that you stay tuned for those details. All right, so the original recipe I found for this says to add some salt. I threw away the first batch that I made because the salt just really ruined it in my opinion. But I know everybody's different, everybody's tastes are different. So this is the chia seed pudding. You can just put a lid on this and put it in the refrigerator, and then it'll be ready to eat in 4 hours, or even you could wait till the next day. I like to add fruit, granola, and even like some strawberry jelly that I make in our deluxe cooking blender. Let me set this aside, and I'm gonna show you how to make the peanut butter that I talked about earlier. So if you've never seen me demo nut butter in the cooking blender, don't walk away just yet. This is pretty amazing. It is a little bit loud. It takes 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So before I start it, I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about our blender. So let me grab a couple of these pieces. All right, so obviously this is the blender that I just used for the oats. This is another, excuse me, this is another blender container. In your purchase of the blender, you're gonna also get a nut bag that looks just like this. You can use this to make those alternative milks. So coconut milk, oat milk, almond milk, macadamia nut milk. You basically put all the ingredients in the blender, use the pre-programmed setting, and then you're just going to squeeze the milk out of the bag and it leaves the pulp behind. So that's the purpose of this bag. You're also gonna get the tamper that I showed you earlier, and I am gonna need that. So let me grab that, rinse it off. I should have left it to the side. So I will need the tamper when making the nut butter. Whoops, got a hair on my face. Okay, so you get the tamper, the blender container, the lid, and the nut bag. You can also purchase the blender as a set with our smoothie cup adapter. So this is the adapter to use to make smoothies. And then you get this really cool smoothie cup, comes with a straw, and this is gonna fit in most standard size cup holders. So if you're gonna take this in the car or on the boat or wherever you're going, you can take your cup with you. So that is sold separately, or you can get it as part of a set with the blender. It comes with a little recipe card to show you some great recipes to make smoothies with. When you buy the blender, you're gonna get this really awesome cooking guide. It tells you how to make everything that I've just talked about on those pre-programmed settings. So let's go ahead and make the nut butter, because this is gonna blow your mind, you guys. So if you like to eat peanut butter or almond butter, you can save so much money by making it yourself, and it's a lot more healthy when you make it yourself. So what we're gonna do, because you can control the ingredients that are gonna go into it. So I like to use honey roasted peanuts. You can get these from Trader Joe's, or Aldi has really, really great honey roasted peanuts as well. You need at least 3 cups. So we're gonna toss that in there. And these are honey roasted, so I'm not gonna add any extra salt or anything extra to this. I'm gonna pop this right here on the blender. I'm actually gonna turn this and zoom in so that you guys can watch this. Like I said, this is gonna take 2 minutes and 20 seconds, but it is worth the time for you guys to check this out. So let's get started. I'm gonna press cancel because I already used the grind setting and it was started already, and I want the full 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Turn it to grind, press start, and I'm only gonna tamp when the nuts are kind of coming away from the blades. So let's go. Whoops. 1 minute and 8 seconds. But I know that's a really long time when you're watching a video on Facebook or YouTube. So I want to go ahead and show you guys. Let me zoom in so that you guys can see. Look at this, and it's very pourable. So actually I'm gonna just grab my bowl over here from when we made those quinoa bites, and I'm gonna pour some of this peanut butter into the bowl. I didn't measure that, you guys, I just sort of guessed it, and I'm gonna use that just to kind of make a more moist mixture for our quinoa bites. So that is how you make toasted quinoa energy bites. That's how you make chia seed pudding and the peanut butter. I know that just totally blew your mind, right? So this is the best peanut butter you will ever eat. One of my kids, Connor, he loves peanut butter and jelly, but he will very specifically say, I want the homemade peanut butter. And so it is great. Everybody loves it, and you can try any combination of nuts that you like. It doesn't have to be peanuts. So like I said, we used honey, cinnamon, cashews for the original nut butter for the toasted quinoa energy bites. So, like I mentioned before, if you haven't joined my recipe group, I would love to see you there. You can find it by going to theflipflopchef.com. It will redirect you to my Facebook group. In that group, I have thousands of recipes, more than 25 free cookbooks, and I give away a prize every single Friday. So you don't want to miss that. Thanks for joining me today in my kitchen. I hope you have a wonderful day.